talking some shoulder function stuff. That the firing pattern sequence ideally here, when you read it, it will involve trying to palpate supraspinatus. That's just really deep. So starting out when you're palpating and muscle testing to see how are the muscles functioning in abduction, I want to feel that deltoid is firing before upper trapezius. So that all that would look like, and I'm not going to do too much, but real quick, and just looking at this, remembering that it comes down so low onto the lateral portion of the arm. It's not up here. You got to try to tape pretty low, like almost halfway down the arm, it seems like, right? So it's a bigger muscle than you realize, even if it doesn't feel like it has a lot of bulk. Covers a lot of distance. So we got to try to get all the way down there with some of our tape. All right. Tripping hazard. No. All right. Where my tape is. I pre-tore some anchors. We already have her in an ideal position where the arm is adducted. So this is already on some tension. If I wanted to increase the tension of the skin here, all I have to do is take out one of these pillows. So we're going to take one pillow out, nice and slow, down. Now we have that a bit more lengthened. So anchor one, I can pick. Here, I'm going to start where I'm limited related to the neck. And so I'm going to at least try to cover a chunk of upper trapezius. Some of this anatomy, it's just kind of over time, you'll learn and feel. Oh, yeah, that's sensitive. Okay, good. These muscles start a bit more posterior. Like when you line yourself up with the shoulder, if you were to go right at the midpoint, you're missing upper trapezius. You have to go just a little bit more posterior. This fits for when you're doing massage. That's why we don't massage this like this. We step a little bit behind their head so that we're just a touch more posterior to be really on that particular muscle that also lines us up with the supraspinatus underneath. So I have to kind of make it start here and then come around and then line up more directly with deltoid. There's not a straight line in the human body, and that's how it was designed, and it's a good thing, but that's where you're sometimes having to make small adjustments, little curves and S shapes. So I'm going to get one anchor down, myself positioned. I tend to do this where I peel back the anchor halfway so I can just get this part stuck and then pull the rest of it. So I go right here. Boom. Pull that one down. As I pull it down, a lot of times it'll just stick. So like that. Make sure the anchor is good and set. Even right now, I could start tearing this beforehand to make it easier. If I forgot to tear this, I could just tear it all right there. Gonna take the backing off. I'm trying to think upper trapezius. Stretch. Here. Very small swoop, very small arc. Then gonna take this one off. And now I'm really thinking deltoid. And we'll see if this one goes far enough. I think we'll be just about right. I put a bit more tension there, partly to just make up the distance. Like, I personally think that it's okay to go with a lot of tension when going over a joint. Just know that when you read other resources, they may say more like 50 to 75%. So around here, I have been braver with this one and especially the next one of doing a lot of tension. So the next one, here I have to decide, is that going to be too long? Now, I can adjust it down. Like, this doesn't have to be perfectly uniform. So I could shift it back like this and let this tape come further down onto the back. So this is the other way we could apply this. This only really works in a few body areas. It works good here because I can stand and go like this all at once. It also works good for when we do the foot. So when I tape the foot, somebody laying in prone, I could do the same thing of kind of grab the tape and come straight down. So anchor, anchor. I'm going to take the whole back off and be careful and praying it doesn't suddenly flip and stick to itself. Now I have this. I can go, I can stare at those nice little hexagons and go 50% and more. Find the AC joint. I can kind of see it. So it's further out than you realize. I'm trying to find that acromioclavicular joint. That's this right here, where the clavicle meets the scapula. When you feel in your own body, try to be very careful. Right here is mine. I can find the acromion, and then I start going towards my neck until I find a bump where the clavicle is, and there's a little nook, a little dip right there. So I want to give that joint some support. So here, 50% and more. Gonna go right on. And then get that to lay down. Get this. I tend to do this. I'll have this hand push the tape down. Then 0, no tension on the anchor, so nothing. I covered up the nice tattoo. I don't know. Would I want to tape over a fresh tattoo? No. No. We got to tattoo goo the fresh tattoo. Now, I do have this anchor sitting on top of a piece of tape. It's usually okay, but if this is sitting right, if that part is right on top of tape, it sometimes will roll up more easily. I would prefer all of it, at least the ends, to be touching skin. So this is okay, but if I had to, I could peel this back, trim that off, and set the anchor higher up. But I think it'll be okay for where it is right now. And then, now here's where we're doing something different than in the chart, where we're taking the one super long piece and turning it into 2. Anytime you see a real big bow, real big arc, those just really tend to roll up. So I have to get the chest lengthened a little bit. So make sure she's good and pinned. So just a little bit is fine. There, that's what I need, is more of a rolling back like this. She doesn't need it to be this. Just has to go from here to here. With this one, I think about putting a person in just the most ideal posture possible. So I try to just get them, is this good posture? Like, this is too much, but shoulders back, rolled back, okay? Now, anchor on the skin. Here on the chest, it doesn't matter too much where. I'm just trying to get somewhere on the skin below the clavicle. Now, I'm going to go here. It's a good poke. So, now, the trick here is as I apply, I'm going to hold this on tension. Initially, I kind of hold the anchor down, so as I pull, I just don't suddenly take all the tape with me. So, pull, gonna press down, and then I start just navigating. Like, I want to make sure I don't go across the seam here at the front, so I had to kind of walk it a bit that way. See how I'm kind of going to turn And just get it to go the other way. And we'll see, we're going to end up with the anchors sitting right on top of each other. So, oh no, it'll be okay. If I had to in the situation, we're starting to get so much tape on that it's going to start sitting on top of itself. If I had to, I could do one more piece of tape that sits right down on top of those and holds them down. It doesn't have any other purpose but just boom, a bracket. So one more going from right here back. And this one's not going to be long enough for me to go all the way back, so I'm going to think more infraspinatus. I'm going to think about that muscle. Now she just gets to roll forward for me, lengthen the tissue. That's the only part where this can get messy, is when you're having to tape, especially around a ball and socket joint like this. You have to move the person a lot to make sure whatever you're taping is long. So it just takes a little extra time. Okay. Down past deltoid. That's going to be a well-taped deltoid, let me tell you what. All right, take the backing off again. Okay. I hold the anchor down. Good amount of stretch. And now I kind of just have to navigate around here, right? I know that right about there is where those tendons go. So I'm trying to be infraspinatus, infraspinatus, infraspinatus. This is going to look very precise because the anchors look like they just match right up, but that would not be ideal. Now what I forgot to do is get our hot towels going. Yeah, we'll get some in the oven. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there's the demo right there. And then, yeah, go for it.
That's it.
We'll give it a shot. Go ahead and try. That's the shoulder, plus the bicep. But that's it. There isn't a whole lot more you can do for the shoulder joint than this. So, doesn't matter what the shoulder problem is, rotator cuff, osteoarthritis, bursitis, anything. This is a good starting point to just see if it helps.